Hello, it's Tammy Powley, the Crafty Princess from the Crafty Princess Diaries. You can see my blog over at tammypowley.com, and you can also go over to my YouTube channel. I will put a subscription link somewhere around here. And this is episode 2 of my Disney cruise review. If you saw episode 1, then you might be wondering, Tammy, in episode 1, you were actually on the cruise and you did the review with your sister, Tapping Flamingo, Terry Jeanette Carter of tappingflamingoblogspot.com. Where is she? Why aren't you still doing your video on the cruise like you said you would? Well, I'm going to get to that. But this is actually going to be a video related to the second half of day 2 and the day 3 of our 3-day cruise. And just to recap, if you didn't see episode 1, my sisters and I have 2 sisters, an older sister and a younger sister, so yes, I'm the middle child. I'm the problem child. We took a cruise with our mom. It was a Disney cruise going out of Port Canaveral around mid-May in 2015, and we took that cruise over to the Bahamas. It went to Nassau, Bahamas, and then the island that is owned by Disney, which is called Castaway Cay. I want to say Cay because it's spelled C-A-Y, but you pronounce it Key. And so it was we went out on Monday and came back on a Thursday early in the morning. And while on the trip, my sister and I, we both do podcasts, and we're both into arts and crafts, so we thought it would be fun to do a podcast review as we were on the trip. And like I said, that kind of didn't happen like we expected it to, but this is the second part of that, because at the time, my previous review ended around, we had been there up until, it was Tuesday, so it was our second day. Around 4 o'clock is when we did our first review of what was going on so far. We did pros and cons. And so I'm going to pick that up and talk about the pros and cons of the rest of the day, the second day after 4 o'clock, and then day 3, which for me was super duper con. Really bad. But first, let me just also explain something. The Disney cruise that we went on was on the boat called the Dream, and I wrote this down to make sure I got this correct. There were 4,000 guests and 1,500 staff, so it was a massive, massive boat. And as we both mentioned on the previous episode of this 2-part review, the ship was set up so that there are only the only way to travel from one side to the other is, you have to go from one side to the other. There is nothing in the middle of the ship for guests as far as stairs or elevators or anything like that. So lots of walking, big honking ship, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of inconvenient when you're hauling your luggage and you have a lot of stuff. It's not super convenient. So, all right, so it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, so pros. I'll start with the pros. As we mentioned in the previous episode, we were dressed up like pirates because that was Pirate Day, pretty much all day Pirate Day on the ship, which was fun. Who doesn't want to be a pirate? In fact, my one sister got us these little foamy, swords, which I kept poking people with. I eventually had to retire these because it was kind of hard to figure out where to put this, but these were fun. So she got us those, and also Disney got us, they put these on our beds here, these cute little, sorry for the bang there, bandanas. So you put this on it's like this, so you'd put it on your head like that, okay, so you could see. So everybody's dressed like pirates, it's super fun, adults are dressed like pirates, little kids are dressed like pirates. It's a pirate day, lots of fun. That evening's show was called The Villain Show, and like I said, everybody's in there, we're all wearing pirate outfits, so it's really cute. And The Villain Show, I will say, high quality as far as costumes, dancing. It was the only show I was able to watch while I was on the trip. The first night I opted not to go to the Golden Mickey Awards because I was tired and I just needed my space. I'm the type of person that I get overwhelmed by crowds really easily, and I was kind of like at my threshold at that point, so I needed quiet time. So my sisters and mom went to that, and I got to relax and do like 5 rows of knitting in the room and watch. I watched what was it, Wall-E on the TV, which they have lots of videos and movies on their TVs inside. So I didn't see that one, but the Villains show was very good, except for the fact that I'm not an anti-Disney person. Let me just say that. I actually, in the early 80s, I worked there. I was a character. I worked as a ballerina doll in the spectacular, I don't know, some sort of show that I can't remember the name of it now. It was a show that was in front of Cinderella's castle, and we were up on a stage, and they had the dancing bears, and then they had all these little dolls, and I was a ballerina doll. I also did the Electric Light Parade back in the olden days, and I was a can-can doll for the most part. I think one season I was a can-can doll, and then later in the summer I was like a alternate, so I would do whatever was open. I was a dwarf, a mouse, not the mouse. I was a wing girl one time. You hold a wing and you wave. They had this massive bird, and it had these big wings, and somebody had to hold the wing so it wouldn't break off, I guess. So anyway, I'm not anti-Disney, but I'm not like I don't really care one way or the other, and so unless it's really compelling for me to be up on the latest Disney shows or movies, I'm probably 10 years behind on any new Disney movie. So a lot of the villains and characters that were in the show, I did not know who they were. So it was kind of difficult because I didn't understand who all these people were. I mean, I could follow along what was happening, but I think I lost a lot because I didn't know most of the characters. I knew, like, for example, they had Captain Hook, so I knew him. They had Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. I knew her. I think those are the only 2 I knew, and there were a lot of other ones. So, yeah, I was kind of like, ho-hum. Not that impressed. I will say my sisters and my mom, who did know most of the other characters, they commented that it was an okay show, but not as good as the Golden Mickeys and not as good as the show Believe, which was on Wednesday night, which I was not able to go to. So they said those were much better shows as far as quality goes. So that was, I would say, it's a pro and a con, kind of. Their shows, it's Disney. That's what they do. They're entertainers. All right. So the other thing that was a pro was the fireworks that evening. We ended up going to the adult area way up high on like the 13th level, and I can't remember. I think it's called Serenity, or I don't remember. Okay, it's like where the adults go, and there was a bar there or something. And I didn't get a drink. At the time, I was starting to not feel well at that point, and it was freezing up there, which I should have, duh, you're way up high. It's May, I had long sleeves on. My pirate costume had long sleeves and everything. But I was freezing my butt off, and, but when they finally went off, wow, amazing. I mean, because we were so up high, and you're over the water, and they're super close. I mean, I was like, boom, it's like, man, in your face. So I liked those. It was worth the hassle and freezing to wait it out and watch the fireworks. So totally loved the fireworks. Another pro was Castaway Cay, which was the next day. And I will probably in this video, basically what I've decided to do is I'm going to, on my YouTube channel, I have set up on the playlist. I don't know if you're familiar with a playlist, but a playlist on the YouTube channel, you can break it into categories. So you have, for example, I have a category just for my Crafty Princess Diaries podcasts. So if you're into, crocheting and knitting and making jewelry and stuff like that, you can go over there and just watch the podcasts to that section. If you are into how-to type stuff, I have I have yarn related, videos in another section. I have my pets, which nobody probably cares about other than my relatives. I mean, they don't even care. They're just nice and watch them for me. So I have a playlist for my pets. So, and I have videos of all my dogs and cats and stuff over there. So I have created a Disney playlist, Disney Cruise playlist. And somewhere in there I will put in, I think I have 3 short videos I did on my phone. One of them is from Castaway Cay, where I took it from our veranda, which I loved the veranda. If I ever get on another boat again, which probably, I don't know if that's going to happen, I will never ever have a room that doesn't have a balcony. Not going to do it. Okay, so that's a big deal. But it's a very big island, and it was beautiful. The weather that day on Wednesday was amazing. So it was gorgeous weather. Another pro, I went to the spa, and for the first time in my life, I had a pedicure and a manicure. And a few people have given me a hard time because I've posted this on Instagram and Facebook, and they're all like, oh no, you have glitter. That's going to be a bear to get off. And oh my God, you did the gel. You won't get that off. Okay, yeah, I know. I mean, no, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't know any better. It was like, it was gel, 14-day manicure, and what do you call it? It dries fast. So I was like, cool, it dries fast. I'm down with that. That's one reason why I don't do my nails a lot, because they don't, it takes a long time for the polish to dry, and I want to do stuff. So, yeah, I may regret this. But it was on vacation, and what was nice was both times. The first time I went for a manicure like the first day, and then I went for a pedicure right before we filmed the first episode of this review on Tuesday. And the manicure, so we were still docked at Port Canaveral for the manicure, but I was still able to overlook the ocean, so it was really nice because the salon has these huge windows, so you get a massively beautiful view. When I went to the pedicure, we were already, where were we? We were at the Bahamas, duh. And so again, you're sitting in this chair, you're back, and this is after walking around Nassau all day, so I was exhausted. I actually had even blisters on my feet. So I was like, oh, this is really comfortable. Beautiful panoramic view of the Caribbean waters, and the pedicure wasn't just a pedicure. I mean, it was like she had all the smelly stuff, and she did with the hands too, so not a ton, but like they put other things on your hands. They don't just like paint your nails and see you, like they put, I don't know, scrubby stuff. In fact, some of it I bought. I know, you're like, Tammy, don't buy that stuff. They're just going to make you buy stuff. But I really liked this stuff. It's like here's the box. It's it says body polish, and it's basically an exfoliant. And I kind of needed this. My feet, that girl worked hard on my feet, let me tell you. Bless her heart. Okay? I even gave her extra little tip because never had a pedicure, and I run around barefoot all the time. Enough said. So anyway, those were my pros. And one other pro, and this was unusual. I'm not a huge shopper, but I had a list of things I kind of wanted, and I did for the most part get my must-haves. But I was really surprised at how at the shops on the boat. I kind of wish they would have been open when we were in Nassau, which of course they can't be because that's, I don't know why. Well, I guess because that would be, if they're in dock, maybe there's some rules or something. If anybody can enlighten me, please put it in the comments there. But I thought that there would be obviously a lot of Disney stuff, and it would be outrageously expensive and overpriced, and they would be gouging the prices because you're on a boat. But that was not really necessarily the case. I thought most of the prices were reasonable. The items were pretty good quality. Like one thing I bought, let me see if I can find it down here, was I needed a new watch because I keep losing my other watch all the time, so I kind of needed a backup watch. I got this really cute Tinkerbell watch, which is not going to come into focus. Oh, maybe you can kind of see it. It's very subtle, which I liked. It's not like in your face. Like if I wear this, people aren't going to be like, whoa, that girl's got a Tinkerbell watch on. You can't, you have to kind of really look at it. So this was $30. No taxes, because you're out on the water. But most of the things, I'm kind of bummed. If things had gone differently, I would have gone out and done some more shopping. They had some really cute pirate T-shirts that were about $24. I probably would have gotten one for my husband and one for me. I like T-shirts. I'm a T-shirt person. If I'm home, I'm wearing a T-shirt. If I'm at the grocery store, usually wearing a T-shirt. So, but I'm kind of particular about what T-shirts I will wear. So anywho, yeah, I thought the shops, there was stuff there I wanted to buy. Like I said, I'm kind of bummed that things didn't turn out differently, because I had planned on like Wednesday to do a little more shopping and maybe get a couple of pirate T-shirts at the very least. They also had some Swarovski jewelry that I missed even getting to look at. And of course, I'm a jewelry maker. I love Swarovski. I mean, who doesn't love Swarovski? Seriously. And even though I don't know if I would have bought any, I sure would have liked to look at it. But yeah, that did not come to fruition. So the cons. I'm looking at my list so I don't miss something. The food. Okay, if you saw our previous episode, we said the food was really good. Well, we were wrong. The food, actually my best meal of the whole trip was the first meal. There were, let me see, so there were really 4 restaurants we could eat at that did not cost extra. There's Powley and Remy, which are extra, and they're super extra, like $100 you're gonna pop, okay? So they're world renowned and blah 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 blah. Okay, but anywho, yeah, the places that you can eat that are part of the package include Enchanted Garden, which was, when we got on, they had a buffet on there, and like I said, that to me, that was my best meal. I thought it had a lot of selection of food that I liked. Shrimp, it had crab. What else? Oh, I had a really yummy mozzarella and tomato basil pesto, these sandwiches on this artisan bread. Just really a huge selection of very fresh food. And yeah, so, and really Enchanted Garden, I think, was my favorite restaurant of the selection to eat at. The other place was Animator's Palette. I was only able to eat breakfast there before we left. It was okay. You know, I mean, eggs, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, hash browns, which were probably almost what I could get at basically McDonald's. Yeah, they were just, they were like a brick that they just nuked it or something, or fried. I mean, I guess they fried it, but I mean, they weren't, somebody did not shave up a bunch of, or chop up a bunch of potatoes and grill them like you normally would do with potato hash, whatever. So, yeah. The cabanas, that's like it's in the center near the pools and stuff, center area of the ship. It's open more hours, way more hours. It's not open all the time, which is a shame, but it's open a lot more hours than the other places. And so if you want to have a super early breakfast, or sometimes a snack or stuff like that, they have soda fountains out there all the time too, which was kind of a lifesaver later on. And then but in that area is also Flo's. What else? Flo's. Luigi's Pizza, which my mom had a pizza. She said, it was like, it was all right. It was pizza, And Toe Matters Grill. Okay, and then the other place to eat was Royal Palace. Generally speaking, the beef we had with the food was that it was limited selection and stuff that you could kind of get anywhere. As an example, our last dinner was at Royal Palace. Well, my last dinner, let me put it that way. My last dinner was at Royal Palace. And they had lobster macaroni and cheese. Well, and who doesn't like lobster macaroni and cheese? It's okay, it's good. But I could get that at Carrabba's down the street. And, my sister and I got it, we split it. And, yeah, it was kind of about the same as Carrabba's. Not any better, not any worse. A lot of salmon, just stuff that really, it's Disney. And I paid probably double what I could pay to go on a different cruise like Royal Caribbean or Carnival. I paid twice as much for this experience, so I expect the food to be twice as good, or at least as good. And I will say, Royal Caribbean, my only other cruise I've ever been on, food was 10 times better than what I had on Disney. All right, so kind of related to the food, the big con for me was I got super sick. Yes. So Wednesday night, after, actually kind of during the meal, I didn't feel 100%, but you know, we've been running on it, and like I said, I'm not into crowds. I get overwhelmed. I thought, okay, I'm just tired. It's, you know, we went to Nassau. We walked all around all over the place. We've been going to bed late, getting up early because, oh yeah, you got to get up so you can have breakfast at 8, or that sucker's closed by 9:30. You have no breakfast. Yeah, that's the cruise for you. So anyway, I got sick. So I didn't feel 100% going to bed Tuesday night, but like I said, I figured, oh, you know, I have a crappy bed to sleep on. That's something we mentioned in the other review. The beds are basically like you'd have in a prison. They're like a cot. And so I didn't sleep that great. And I just thought, I'm just tired. And I woke up the next morning and my stomach was kind of feeling weird. And again, I just blew it off. I'm tired, and probably I have low blood sugar because we ate a ton the day before. They had a midnight buffet, which we didn't really eat much at. They had, again, not impressed at all with the food, the midnight buffet. Mass of Humanity, there was a taco bar. They were making crepes. I had a crepe, and they were little. They were like, you know, this big. So I had a crepe and a little filling in it, but not, you know, it wasn't that much. And we all just wanted to try the crepes, so we did that. And I thought, well, if I just have a little orange juice, you know, because normally when I wake up, I don't eat a big breakfast, but I eat pretty soon. And because I had to wait, my sisters, you know, they had gotten up earlier and eaten at Cabanas for breakfast because that was the only place open because they wanted to get on the island. And they had all these big plans for the island. They were going to do all this stuff that I did not want to do. They were going to go snorkeling and, you know, get on this slide thing and all that kind of stuff. I had planned, we had signed up for yoga on the beach, so I was like, okay, and that was at 10:30. So I was like, okay, by 10:30, I want to do yoga on the beach. If I get there early, I might shop a little bit. Otherwise, my only other plans were to just sit on the beach and read a book. That was it, because that's my, Lola's walking around here. So that was my plan for the day. So then, oh, hello, Lola Bell. Yes, thank you. All right, please get off the keyboard. All right, she pulled up Norton. No, Norton. Okay, so that was my plan for the day. And like I said, I thought, well, just low blood sugar. So they came and went. My sisters came and went. By this time, my mom was ready for breakfast. So I was like, okay, let's go. We went down to Enchanted Garden. They had a buffet. And by that time, I was like, something is not right. I feel really lightheaded and queasy. So I look at the buffet. It's the smell hit me, and I was just like, whoa. So I sat down. I got some orange juice because I was like, you know, I need something now. So they got me orange juice. I got my Earl Grey tea, which was another thing throughout. I have to have Earl Grey tea every morning. I have a cup of Earl Grey tea every morning. And I had to beg them for freaking Earl Grey tea. My God, people. Every day. Don't you want, we have this English breakfast tea. No. Okay? Did I say I want English breakfast tea? So they got me my tea. I think my mom brought me a piece of toast and an English muffin, half an English muffin. I ate a bite of the English muffin and I said, okay, I can't eat anything else. I told her, just go ahead and eat. Let me just sit here. I'll sip my tea. Okay, let me just sip my tea and drink my orange juice. By the time we got back up to the, and she ate her breakfast, you know, we didn't rush too much. By the time I got back up to the cabin, that was it. I had food poisoning all day. And I'm not going to go into detail because it's really disgusting, but if you're not sure what it means, Google it. So that was my Wednesday. I was basically trapped in our room. We did not tell our steward, bless his heart, he kept wanting to come in and clean. And because I was concerned for two reasons. First of all, I thought if they know I'm sick, they might think it's contagious and try to quarantine me or make me move down into some hole downstairs, like take me out of the cabin and put me somewhere with some nurse, and I just wanted to be left alone, really. And then my mom mentioned that they could quarantine all of them. And my sisters they were already on the island having a good time. My mom had plans. She did go, I told her just go to the island. I mean, there's really nothing anybody can do for you, okay, when it happens, all right? I've had food poisoning twice before, once when I was very, very little, and then probably about 10 years ago. So, excuse me, got to scratch my nose here. So I knew what the dealio was. So anyway, yeah, I did not want, and they were fine, so I knew for sure it was something I ate. It wasn't contagious because they ate, see, in fact, the night before the dinner, my sister, one of my older sister and I split everything except for the salad. So I think it was the salad because we each had our own little salad. So I suspect something was not washed correctly in my salad. So yeah, that was a big con. Let's see. Let me see what else. Sorry for the pause here. I just want to make sure I cover everything. And I want to say, okay, I don't necessarily blame Disney. This is something that happens on all cruises. I mean, I do blame them because they don't know what they're doing. They just, the whole experience, I mean, I'm trying to think back now. Why did we pick Disney over Royal Caribbean and Carnival? And I will say there were some reasons. First of all, Carnival, I remember now, if you want to go to their island, you have to be at least on a 5 to 7 day cruise. And that's just not possible for me, and it's definitely not possible for my younger sister who has 2 special needs boys. For her to be able to get away like this is like massive amount of, behind the scenes coordination with Grandpa and the father and all this kind of stuff. I mean, she's happily married and everything, but taking care of those boys is a big undertaking. And she's the linchpin. The mama is the linchpin. Mama needs to be there. So for her to be away for a few days, it takes a lot of effort, and she really can't. More than that, it's just not possible for her. So we had to rule out that pretty quickly. And I think with both of them, we had problems with dates, getting all 4 of us together. We really did not plan ahead of time. So that is something like if you're thinking about doing this with really anybody. I would say plan at least 6 to 8 months ahead. Maybe a year's too much because I know that some places already have stuff set up, but I know like I've been looking on Royal Caribbean because I was just curious like what the price difference, so I was trying to remember, because from what I remember, Royal Caribbean, if we had gone that way, if there had been a weekend available for all of us to go, which I don't think there was, that was the problem. We would have been able to get 2 rooms, which meant 2 bathrooms. And those girls now know, because I was complaining about this early on. I was like, hey, you're talking about 4 women, 1 bathroom. That's not good. And they're like, oh, it'll be all right. Yeah, well, they're singing a different tune now because I had to take that bathroom over. And I also got to sleep in the big comfy bed, too. That was another thing because I was so sick. I was like, my mom was like, go over here. And she brought me some Sprite a couple times. That, again, like I said, that was Cabanas has those machines out there, the fountain drinks. So that, like I said, was a lifesaver because I was so dehydrated by that point, and I just couldn't keep anything down. So that was something that was super helpful. She got me, I think, at least 3 of them throughout the day, like 1 right before I went to bed and stuff. So that was nice not to have to try to get a soda from somebody because we didn't want people coming into the cabin, obviously. And one other con, the pirate party. They have, right before they have the pirate party, which is a bunch of people dancing, they have a DJ and all this kind of stuff. They have a show, but we opted not to go to that because there were just so many people there. Well, I knew there was going to be a lot of people there, but after the fireworks, we went through, that area of the cabanas where they had the show, and they were at that point they were all dancing and everything, and wow, there was a lot of people there. I mean, we could barely get through. We could barely walk through that area. So I would say that is a con. It's just, for me, it just a massive humanity in any type of thing like that. Because I would have liked to seen the show, but I knew it was going to be crowded, but I had no idea. I mean, whoa, wow. So my overall general idea of the Disney cruise is that if you have enough money, like if you could afford it and you had the typical nuclear family, a mommy and a daddy, or two mommies and two daddies, whatever, and you had children, I would say ages maybe 5 to 11 or 12. And like I said, you could afford it because you got to be money bags. Because even if you're not just talking about being able to pay for it, once you get there, there's all kinds of crap these kids want to buy. All right, I saw them all with toys and princess outfits and pirate outfits, and yeah. And then of course, if you want to do excursions, that's extra. So you would have to have the money. But if you have a semi-nuclear family, a mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy, 2 children, you don't want more than 2 because they won't fit in that cabin, and they are ages 5 to 11 or 12, I would say it would be a good experience, as long as they don't get food poisoning. Otherwise, don't do it. It is not set up at all for adults. In fact, they do have a nod to the adults. If you saw the previous, and I'm kind of going on here, so I probably need to start wrapping this up. But my previous review, I mentioned the district area, which had all these little cool bars and stuff. And my sister and I had gone to the Pink Lounge, which was for champagne. And I was very bummed because we were going to do that Wednesday night again and check out the cityscape, which has views of different cities behind you at night. That's a nod to the adults and everything, which is nice, but that's just not enough to make the experience worthwhile for adults, and it's a shame. Disney, I think that they know that people will pay because they're Disney, and then they don't feel the need to bring across the quality that they should. They need better food, better quality food. Now, as far as the service, again, the service was excellent. All those people on the ship worked their what's off, and they deserve a round of applause. And they work very hard, and they are very friendly. But I just felt like for the amount of money we paid, it was definitely not worth it. And we'll see if I ever get on another ship again. If you've watched any of my previous Crafty Princess Diaries podcast where I've mentioned this, I am not a big time cruise person, and I just don't like to travel. Honestly, I'm just a homebody. But I think that's kind of covering everything. So keep an eye on my Disney playlist section on my Crafty Princess Tammy Powley whatever channel on YouTube, because I will have some other videos related to other things about the trip. And and of course, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching.